Alright, so first things first, it's nice to have two guys to do this part, but just kind of get the fender set up on the corn head like this, and then we're going to get the front part locked down into the T-pin. Okay, and then the next step is when you're looking down the corn head here, you want the poly to be resting about halfway on your cast chain guide. About right there. So then the next step is we got to kind of hold it, and we want to look at it. So I got to pull it down just a hair case. There you go. Okay, so we want this to be parallel with this mark out this way. So then you take your handy Sharpie and just draw an oval in these slots. We're gonna get covered up, so it don't matter. All right, so then what we're gonna do is then be a gentleman, hold this again, let him undo that, and we'll set it aside. Then the next step is he's gonna grab our bolt kit, and inside these slots we're gonna pre-drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, because we send 5/16 self-tapping bolts with. So we're gonna pre-drill here, and we're gonna pre-drill here. And then we're gonna get that bracket, and we're gonna get it mounted on loosely. So once you've got this thing mounted, then the next step is we send this bracket along. I don't know if you've seen the old steel fenders, but you know, they'll start sagging down. Kind of looks, you know, not nice, stupid. And so we send this along. So then what we do here is you put a bolt through here, and then you'll drill and self-tap holes through these, right? Just two of these parts, holes right there. So then it helps prevent that thing from wanting to bend over. Once you got all that done, get it set back on. Get this rod slid in. Sometimes you just gotta work for it. Put the cotter pin in. We're happy, and then you get the T-pin in down there. Boom, you're ready to go. All right, so we're gonna mount the snouts on the Jack Knife Poly, John Deere 30-inch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring that snoot over, and there's two long 7/16" carriage bolts that go through these holes on each side here. So you get those bolts slid in there, you tighten up the nut, and then you tighten up the jam nut, and then we're good. And then the only next step after that is getting the chain set. So we've got the first snoot set at the height where we want it. So then we're gonna match all the other snoots so that they're the same. It's nice to always, I'll keep saying this, it's nice to have a second set of hands when you're doing all this stuff. You probably can do it alone, but you know, work smarter, not harder. All right, so he got his in, I got mine in. So then you start out, washer and a regular nut, washer on first, then the nut, kind of get it started, and then we'll tip it up and we'll tighten everything up because it's just way easier than working on your knees or your back. Alright, so with the jackknife poly, the important thing is you really want to have your tips all be the same height all the way across your head. So how that's accomplished, I've got it in the upright position here to kind of explain it to you. There's a hook right here. So in order to get this thing up into the jackknife position, you'll have to release the chain, which if you got it on your combine, that's not a big deal to reach under there and unhook it. It's on concrete, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But, so anyway, you hook this, you figure out what link kind of gets you the closest to where you need to be. And then down in here, we've got a long bolt with a clevis and a jam nut. So if you get close one way or another and you jump a link and it seems like it's too much, and you go the other way, it seems like it's too much the other way, you're going to have to adjust your clevis. So if you want it to go up, you tighten it more, get the jam nut on. You want it to go down, you loosen it more, put the jam nut on so that it doesn't go anywhere. So that's kind of how you get a consistent tip and snoot height across your whole head on 30-inch jackknife poly. Alright, so we're going to be putting the fender snoot on here. I guess big things while I've got it up is we're going to be taking those bolts out, setting the center snoot over top of the fender, running the bolts in. There's squares on here for the carriages, so they set in there nice, and then you tighten it underneath. And then the chain hooks into this right here, and that's how you set your height. So if you need to adjust your height, then you simply loosen these nuts here, spin that forward or back. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get her put on.